Hello. So sorry about that. I know class was supposed to start at 6 o'clock tonight. I was late. So sorry. I actually completely forgot it was Monday. I woke up this morning thinking, oh, thank God it's Sunday, a day of rest. I just get to relax. And a half an hour later, I woke up going, oh no, it's really Monday. So I've been on the, oh, it's Sunday. I get to chill out and kick back and just enjoy things today. And well, I crack myself up. Let me just tell you. Okay, but I do have the class all planned. It's all ready to go. I am not ready to go. I just need to get everything turned on. And thank you, Amy, for the reminder. I really do appreciate that because, yeah, I was totally oblivious. I was in my kitchen making some homemade soup. Yes, I'm stalling because I'm trying to get everything uploaded here. So I was making some homemade soup. I'm like, oh, I get to enjoy soup tonight and just relax and not have to deal with anything or be anywhere. Hi, Beth. Hey, it's just another day in the life of a demonstrator, right? Okay, I'm almost going to be ready to go. So what is our Christmas class series? I can actually do that while I'm doing this other stuff. So our Christmas class series, if I can talk, oh my gosh, is a series of classes that I'm going to be doing all the way through until November. And it'll be I think it's every 3 weeks is when I have it planned out. Is that what it is? I do have all the dates posted on my Facebook page, and I will repost them again. So let me just, actually, I can pull them up. I was trying to look for my little calendar, which was normally right here next to me, and I could tell you right away. No, I only have 500,000 things going, but thank you. And I don't have my right glasses on to be reading my calendar right now. Okay, so let's see. Oh, that's not my list. That's not where it is. It's right here in my other calendar. Okay, so tonight is Snowman Magic. Our next class will be October 17th. I did that because I offer an ordering special during each class. So this week's class is you will get 6 cards. This will be 2 of each of the 3 designs that we do tonight. When you spend $35 at my online store, I will, right after the video, post the host code that you need to use. And you do need to use that host code. Very, very important that you use that host code. It tells me that you want the class. And I am leaving my workshop, my host code open until October, let me just see here, because the next class is October 17th. I will be closing it on October 7th. That way you have time to I have time to order everything. Actually, I lied. I'm going to close it October 5th. And the reason I'm going to do that is so that it allows me to get everything ordered for you, get everything here, get everything cut and sent out the door before our next class. So, that's that. Our next class is going to be Kindest Gnomes, because in October, Kindest Gnomes is going to be I haven't decided if it's my club or class to go yet. Either or, you can get it club and class, same way. You don't have to commit to anything. You can just get that month. So, I'm going to get started. I'm going to flip down. And again, sorry, I'm a little discombobulated. I have everything with me. I know what I'm doing. I know what my projects are. I just don't have any of the... Oh, no, I already cut the papers. I'm kind of ahead on that, too. But I don't have my supplies on my desk. So, it'll be a little fun. So, let me flip down. If you get dizzy, close your eyes real quick. All right, got my desktop now. Woohoo! All right, let me just close out of some of my things on my computer so that I don't have to worry about any lag times or anything. Don't forget that Stampin' Up has weekly specials. And if you didn't have a chance to, make sure to go ahead and watch the Farmers Market Week 5. It's up on YouTube. the folks that are on my email list, you got your project sheets and you have the links to those videos. So go ahead and watch it, check it out. If you haven't subscribed to my email list, make sure that you do. I will again post that today too. And so let me just make my little list here, what things I have to do. So I have to post the host code and post the email, sign up. Okay. Let's see, what else do I have to tell you? I don't think too much. I'm going to pull out my bundle, and I hope my bundle's right here. Yes, I was trying to cut everything and be really good and have everything ahead of time. Oh, look, I kind of do. At least that's something I did have organized. Woohoo! Okay, we've got 3 adorable cards tonight. I'm going to just show them quickly to you, and then we're going to start them. This is going to be our last card. I'm sure you're going to love it. We're using that specialty vellum that is in our mini catalog. So I'm going to pull my mini catalog here so that I make sure to show you what it is, because you know what? When I looked at it, I almost blew past it because I'm like, oh, I don't need more vellum. Oh my gosh, you need this vellum. I'm just saying. Like, I'm just trying to get out my vellum, and I thought I had it right here, but that is one thing that I'll need to show you. Again, I wish I could play music because that would be a great stalling factor right now. Okay. What did I do with it? All right. We'll show this when we get to the card. And let's get to cutting now. We're going to be doing embossing tonight. We're going to be doing die cutting tonight. So tonight is a little bit more avid than my standard, you know, simple cards. I decided to step it up this week and do all these fun things with you. But during the class, I'm also going to tell you how you can do some of these things without having all the goodies. But you know what? Once you have all the goodies, oh my gosh, make sure that you're using them. There's nothing worse than, you know, buyer's remorse. So make sure you use all your stuff. And I just need to get my embossing folder. Here it is. Thank goodness it was handy. Okay. Let's start on our first card. I need layering squares dies, which I did not pull out earlier. So let me get those out. I just had them. Layering squares. There we go. Okay. Let's get started here. Oops, I don't have my comments showing, so I can't see what's going on. Hold please while I get my comments. All right. And there we go. So, I am not ready to go. I am wearing a holiday shirt, though. I hope you all noticed that. Okay. Let's see if I can see my comments on the other page. Thanks so much for commenting and let me know that you're here. I do really appreciate that. Because I'm going to go through this stuff pretty quick and make sure I'm really focused on what I'm doing. I may not see your comment. I will try to go back at the end and kind of go through everyone's questions and everything, so I make sure I can answer everything for you. And let's see. I'll put this right next to me for right now. So our first card is going to be this fun. It's the most magical time of the year. And I was going to do my other one first, but I decided to do this one because this one was on top. All right. So very easy, very simple, kind of a very clean and simple looking card. I'm just using basic white. So I'm using a piece of thick basic white for my card base, and that measures 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored it at 5 1/2. I have a piece of basic white, and this is just a regular basic white, measured at 4 by 5 1/4. So you're wondering, how does this go to this? I'm going to show you. I also need a piece of basic white for my little snowman here, which were really fun. So it's kind of like, you know, snowman building. It was fun to do this one. All right. Okay, make sure I have my stamp pads here. There we go. Okay, I want to start with, let's get our embossing out of the way here. And no, I think we're going to stamp first. Sorry, kind of didn't have that planned out. Only because I'm going to do all my embossing and cutting and everything at the same time. So put that aside. I don't need these at the moment. All right, so first thing we do, pull in our cardstock here that we're going to be stamping on. Now this is a photopolymer set. Isn't this freaking adorable? And let me just show you the catalog, because oh my gosh, in the catalog they have some really cute samples in here. Some of this gave me my inspiration. And for my upcoming October 1st World Card Making Day Stamp-A-Stack, we're going to be doing cards very similar to something you see on here. All right, so here is a stamp set. Isn't it adorable? And then here are a couple different cards that you can make with it. You can use alternate colors, so you don't have to make it a Christmas card. You can make it a winter card. You can make it a birthday card. And let me show you all the dies in here. Now, I'm going to warn you, it's a little much. There's a lot of dies in here. Don't get too, hung up on, oh my gosh, there's a lot of dies. They're pretty easy to use. So we're going to be using the majority of them tonight so you can see how you can use these. If you don't have a die cut machine, that's okay. You can just hand cut stuff. You just skip a couple steps in. It's all right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab, well, I'm glad you're exhausted now, Cooper. I'm going to grab this layer off here. Ooh, don't want to lose my little scarf. No, no, no. And we're going to build 3 different snowmen. I'm going to bring my silicone mat because I'm going to need that for glue. And let's start with our stamping here. So our stamping that we're going to have to do is going to be in Starry Sky and Memento Black. I went ahead and I just stuck really with 2 colors on this one. I wanted it to be very, I don't know, just very clean. So let's go ahead and we're going to grab a small block here, and I'm going to take my little magic hat, and we're going to get that inked up. I'm going to stamp that right here. So we have 1, and I need my couple things here. I'm going to put that one away. I'm going to grab out my little scarf, and we're going to stamp that in Starry Sky. Okay, who has Starry Sky, and is it your favorite in color? I'm going to stamp a couple of them right now. When you're stamping these, make sure you're stamping them a little bit more spaced out than I just did, because you want to be able to cut everything at one time. Just saying. Okay, you don't have to cut everything at one time, but I like to. It saves me time. And apparently I need to save myself some time, right? Okay, there's my little hat that I need. Now, there's this adorable bow tie in here too. It is so darn cute. So we're going to stamp that. And I'm going to show you an alternate way to do this one when the time comes. All right. So now all these you could actually cut by hand. You don't even have to have a die cut machine. This one would be a little challenging. I'd say don't try and cut that one by hand, but these you could easily cut by hand. But I will show you how you can get your bow tie on there if you don't have a die cut machine. All right, so that's all I need for those. Let's go ahead and I'm going to bring in my die cutting machine now. And we're going to emboss, where are my parts and pieces? My basic white, I'm going to do that. And cut out my square. So now this is key. So in this layer here, you notice I've die cut a square, but I've also embossed with the brick embossing folder. Make sure you do your die cutting first and then your embossing, because if you do your embossing first and then your die cutting, you're going to kind of flatten that embossed look that you just got. So ask me how I know. Yep, because when I was making the card, I know better. I know not to do that. Yeah, I just completely, I'm like, oh, let's do this and let's do this. And I was having so much fun playing that, yeah, I completely went through it. I'm like, oopsie. So I wanted to make sure I pointed out to you. All right, so we're going to take our, so I've got my number 1, my shim, or my number 2, my shim, my base plate, and then I have 2 plates. Yes, my plates are well loved. They do need to be replaced. Now, thing about using well-loved plates, If you're using a very delicate die, you may have to run it through a couple more times because it doesn't always cut as nice. All right, so now I'm kind of doing this upside down. Well, not really. I'm going to just put this right in here. I'm going to try to line my edges up so it's straight. I'm going to get my little window in there. And then I'll go ahead and just run this through. And sorry I have to keep reaching. For whatever reason, the iPad just doesn't keep showing comments. They disappear. So it's really sometimes kind of hard. You have the Starry Sky? Yeah, I think that color is so pretty. I like most of Stampin' Up! Colors I like. There are a couple that are not my favorite. But hey, everyone, you know. Everyone can't be happy all the time, right? You just gotta accept it. I still use them. Some I have to force myself to use. Mint macaron, just saying. So because, you know, it's going to be fall, it's going to be winter soon, I really kind of gear towards the brights. I don't know why, I just do. So one of my favorite colors is Mango Melody. And I didn't want to be done with Mango Melody yet. So for our team challenge, our color challenge, I came up with challenging them to make cards using Mango Melody, Cherry Cobbler, and Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to challenge all of you to that too. So go to the Facebook group, make your card, go to the Facebook group, my Stamp Studio Facebook group, and post your picture. Make sure you are a member of that group so that you can do that. I'd love to see your ideas. Okay. Oh, I still need that out. What am I doing? I need to do my die cutting now. So I can put my embossing folder away. But I still need to do everything else. Okay. So put this all back on. Okay, now, where are my pieces? All right. So on here, I need to cut several things out. So not only do I need to cut all of these out, but I do need to cut my little snowman out. So I'm going to take my little snowman die here. So we'll put this one there. All right, and let's get my little hat. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn this because I have to see where I'm putting these down because they're a little small. So I'll try to keep this in the camera at the same time, but it may prove to be a little challenging. All right, so I'm just making sure that I've got that centered on there. I'm gonna take my little hat, get that lined up, and my little scarf. Now, just want to make sure I got those lined up. And now I'm going to grab the little bow tie, which is right here. So a little trick to the bow tie, flip it upside down. There's the two ends have kind of an angle here. So look at your stamped image, and I'll zoom in just a little bit here. Let me see how much I zoomed in. There we go. Oh, maybe not quite enough. I'll zoom out in just another second. So on here, you can kind of see that I have that little angle. So when I'm putting my die down, I want to make sure that I have my angle going in the same direction. And then I can place my die right on top, just like that. All right, and I'm going to zoom back out here. Maybe. All right. And I'm going to end up cutting 2 more snowman. We're going to do one traditional, one cool, chilly cool dude, and then one fun, like, kid. All right. So I'm going to grab my little dies here before I lose them. Because what happens in the studio? Well, little things tend to walk off my desk. Little stamps, little dies, little pieces that I need to work with. Okay, So let's put these right up here on top. So I have those right there. And we're going to cut a couple more snowmen here. And I apologize, my allergies are just going wacky with the changes in weather, changes in season. And that, and I forgot to go get my allergy shots, so. My little phone reminder didn't go off, so I missed my appointment. I'm sure hoping they let me back in. All right. Okay, so that's it for our die cutting at the moment. So I'm going to put this guy right back there so I don't lose him. All right, and we'll just move this off to my side. Let's bring back in our silicone mat and our layers. So I think what I'm going to do before I actually start assembling my snowman there is I'm going to, it's going to be 96 degrees. Oh my goodness. It's supposed to, I think we're supposed to get a cool front coming in. Today was actually very beautiful. It wasn't hot. It wasn't cold. I was actually still wearing shorts today, so I love that. But yeah, I was able to go outside and just kind of enjoy just being in the sun without like melting. So it was really kind of nice. All right, so we're going to bring in our Starry Sky. And I need a block that's big enough for my stamp. So let me get that out. Okay, so here's my little trick with this one. So now I feel like I'm so far away. All right, so now on here, I'm going to end up popping this up with some foam adhesive strips, but I need to get my sentiment in there. And the best way that I could figure out how to get my sentiment in there is to grab a pencil and just kind of, all right, not do that. I'm just going to put dots in my four corners. You can put lines, you know, so if you want to put a line, I'm going to go back and erase these as soon as I'm done. But this way I know about where my sentiment has to be, so I can get it in that frame. Because I don't want to leave this setting down. I could actually do this and stamp it, but knowing me, I'll drop my stamp. So I'd much rather do this. I'll slide it down, just make sure I'm kind of straight. And I'll stamp right in there. Go ahead and clean the stamp. And now I'm going to take my pencil. Now, where do I get my pencils in this? I just get these from the dollar store. They're cheap. Inexpensive. I'm sorry, not cheap. Inexpensive. But I like the white eraser. It tends to work better. And I don't know. I just like them. And it's back to school time, so you know they have a bunch of them. Just saying. Okay. Where did I put that backing? I'll have to find that. All right, let's go ahead and get our next thing assembled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in my foam adhesive strips. These are the bomb. If you want to make shaker cards or anything else like that, these rock. But thing to note is they are a little thicker than our dimensionals. Just a hair thicker, but they're thicker, and it does make a difference. So, just so you know that. Now you kind of would do the same type of thing I would do right here if you're doing a shaker card. So I could easily make this a shaker card here. I would put my foam adhesive, I put my window sheet down, then I put my foam adhesive right along my opening, and that's how I would make my shaker card. But I am not doing a shaker card, so I'm going to just trim this. I'm going to put these strips along the side here. I just want to make sure that I have some balance there so my card stays popped up. So I used like a strip and a half. You can put it at an angle too. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to peel off these backings. And we'll just flip this over. And sorry, I am going to have to move this towards me so I can see. All right. I think that's about centered. All right. So now let's go ahead and pull our little snowman in. Let's get our little silicone mat here. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So we've got our little scarf and hat for one, our little magician hat for the other, and our little bow tie for our third one, right? But we need some like faces and everything, right? So we're going to go ahead and pull back in that stamp set. And I had a small little stamp. Where did it go? See again, something small. All right, here we go. I'm going to bring in my Memento Black. You could use Stays On because we're not going to be using any blends on this project. And I'm going to grab my little face here. And let's see, where is my little face? Here it is. Okay, so there's 2 different faces here. I have to tell you, I'm not really thrilled with that one. Uh-oh, there it is. Thought I lost it. I would be really upset with myself. All right, so we'll stamp one here. So I just need to put that down just like that. I mean, it's kind of a cute little look, but I like it with open eyes better. I don't know why. I like my traditional snowman with their traditional eyes and coal noses and carrots. And all right, so here's this one, this one. Right. Now I need my buttons down the front, so I'm grabbing the 3 little buttons. So I'm grabbing these 3 little buttons right there. Now for the one with the little scarf, you kind of need to place your scarf down to see where your buttons are going to go. And I'm going to put them right there. Oops, right there. That way I'm not covering all my little buttons. See? All right. And on this one, we'll change the direction. Here we go, just like that. They're coming together pretty quick, aren't they? I'm going to zoom in just a little more so while we're decorating these, you can see them. So fun. It's like a build a snowman with a stamp set. It's a lot of fun. And I just need to go over and get I'm going to get a marker here. Well, what did I do with my markers? I had them out. That, I don't know what I did with. So I just need to look for a minute here. Right where I need them, right next to my feet. Almost like I planned it. Alright, so I've got the Many Marvelous markers. You can buy the markers in color families, or you can buy the whole shebang. I have opted for the whole shebang. And then when we get the in colors, I just keep adding. Alright, so I actually pulled out Mango Melody. I think my samples I use Pumpkin Pie. But I like mango, so we're going to use mango. So let's color in our little noses. Mango? Yeah, there's mango. I think it just makes for a brighter carrot nose, that's all. All right, so that's as much as I'm doing on that one. I am going to bring in my Starry Sky. And you know what, for grids and giggles, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to use Tahitian Tide, and I'm just going to color the brim of his hat. All right. Okay, now let's get to gluing. So I'm going to be using liquid glue. Now I've actually poured my liquid glue into some other containers so that I can get a nice fine tip bunch of dots. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Now, what I was going to show you, and I forgot to cut out one of my snowman. So before I do anything else, I'm going to flip him over. We're going to pull in that little bow tie again. And I'll do it in a different color so you can see. So I'm taking my little bow tie and I'm just going to stamp it right on. Just like that. So if I didn't have the dies and I'd stamp my snowman and cut them out, that's how I can do it. What you'd actually have to do is bring your snowman in, grab your snowman stamp, and then cut that out. Alright, so let's go back with our bow tie here. We'll come in with this one. We'll stamp our little bow tie. There we go, just like that. Alright, so that's how you would do that. Okay, going back to this guy now, after my glue dried. Let's get a little more glue on there. All right. Now sometimes I like to take my Take a Pick tool to help me pick this stuff up. Usually I'll hold it like that and then put my adhesive on. Just makes it a little easier. All right. Oh, one thing I forgot to do for him, I was going to make him too cool. So my Too Cool Snowman needs some Too Cool shades. So let's get out our little shades here. And here they are. So what I'm using are these right here. He's going to have some little aviators. Okay, not really, but kind of. All right. I just need to turn this so I can see where I'm stamping. There we go. All right. You know, it doesn't have little side arms though. So if you wanted to really make it more realistic, you could draw little side arms, you know, because glasses have the arms here. Just saying. I'm not going to. I'm totally content with it being just like that. All right, let's get more of our stuff going here. So now I just need to put my little hat on this guy. Now, you can put your hat straight or at an angle. I'm going to kind of do mine at just a slight angle. I don't know. I'm not a fan of having it straight. If you know me, I don't do anything straight. I can't cut straight. That's why I'm so glad they have trimmers, because if I didn't have a trimmer, I'm just trying to get that little glue thing out. Okay. All right, so my glue is stuck. So what do? We just put some glue right here. All right. I'm just going to take the brow of the hat, or the brim, just get a little adhesive on, and this is why I'm doing it on my silicone mat. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing over here. Get a little bit. This one I'll do more centered, but, and then get some. Oops, that's a little too much. Glue for my skirt. There we go. All right, now I made a hot mess on that. Okay, time for glue remover. I'm using my hand sanitizer to get that liquid glue off my hands. And that it dries really fast. I don't have to go run and find a towel. All right. Okay, so we got that done, Now, I need to bring back in my card. I'm just going to take a moment to wipe this liquid glue off. There we go. Okay, I want to bring in, and of course I forgot to do this. So, and I did the same thing when I was making this sample. I want to tie some ribbon around there. So, I might be able to thread it through, or I might be able to lift it. Let's see. Oh, good, I didn't press too hard. So, sorry, hold on for a minute. I forgot to turn on Do Not Disturb. Okay. So I'm just gently peeling that up so I can slide my ribbon in there. Pretend that I did that in the first place and I did it right. Okay, I'll lift that back down. And now I know I have some wiggle room in there, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull enough to do this. Tie a bow. Now I'm using the Starry Sky metallic ribbon. It's really pretty narrow, so it just adds a little bit of shimmer and shine without being overpowering. So if you wanted to give this, you know, more of a masculine card, you can still add ribbon. Just saying. I add ribbon to just about everything, so I'm not worried about it. All right, and then I'm just going to do my little snip there, a little snip over here to make sure it doesn't like move around. Once I have it in my spot, I'm just going to put a glue dot underneath that. All right, so now tonight's kits, like I said, you'll be getting supplies to make 2 of each of these cards. And I do not include the stamps. I can't do that. That's against Stampin' Up! Policy. So let me move back out here. Ooh, wrong way. Move back out. That's against Stampin' Up! Policy. So I have to let you do your stamping. So you can use the stamps that I have. You can purchase that, or you can use the stamp sets that you have. But you'll have all the supplies to make the card. I will be giving you a piece of ribbon in there. I do not do any of the die cutting for you, but I will give you a sheet of paper so you have that. So, okay, let's get our little snowman on here, and we'll be done with this card. So I'm just going to put them right around here, and this one over here. So I'm just going to use my, I'm going to use some dimensionals. So I've got my mini dimensionals here. Now on this one, I need to make sure that I don't put a dimensional over here because it's not going to hold up, because this foam strip, God, stop that, is higher than these little guys. So I'm going to put one on the side. So I'm put that on the left side, and I'll end up having to do that same thing except for on the right side for my other guy. All right. I don't know what I just got on there, but I got something on it. All right, so here's one. I'm going to move him up a little bit higher, I think. So we'll put him up here. All right. The next one, I'm going to actually just adhere him down with some glue. I'm not going to pop him up. So I'm going to put him down just low enough so you can see the words still and my sentiment. And this one, I'm just going to put just a little bit lower, and I'm going to use my dimensionals on him. I'm going to take a dimensional and overlap my, I just cannot get my zoom in right today, overlap my hat and my little snowman head, just so that I know it's going to hold. All right, you could use regular size dimensionals. This just happened to be what I grabbed out of my little stash here. All right, so that is our first card. So here's my original. So you can see I just moved them up a little bit. All right. So you're going to get an envelope. You're going to get 2 envelopes with that as well. So let's go ahead and stamp our little envelope here. And so now this is the time that I'm not going to be using dies on my envelope. I'm just going to do all stamping. So let's take our snowman here. Get it all nice and inked up. And now, when this happens, just make sure that you don't push in the center of your stamp. Otherwise, you can actually push that and get that little shadow image. I got that on my stamp because I pushed too hard into my stamp pad. I know, hard to believe with the memento that I was able to do that, but I was. All right. We're going to grab our Starry Sky. And what do I have all over that? How did I get ink there? All right, and I'm going to, let's see, let's take our little, we're just going to do a little scarf this time. I'm not going to do a hat and scarf. I'm just going to do my little scarf. So I'm just going to make sure I get that fully inked. That. And let's put a little face on him or her. Let's see, where's my little face? Again, the face that I'm not a fan of, but it's the one that faces the correct direction. No pun intended. Okay, I hope I have all my little pieces there. Oh, and I'm not going to bother with the dots right now, with the little buttons on them. I just want it like that. And we'll color his little carrot nose. And you know what? For grins and giggle, we have this cute little bunny. I'm going to stamp the little bunny right on there as well. There we go. And there's my little bunny. Okay. So there we go. First card. Okay, next card. We are going to make this one right here. So on this card, what you're going to get in your kit is going to be a piece of, this is actually a Parakeet Party. And then I have a piece of basic white that is 4 by 5 1/4. I have a piece of Parakeet Party just scrap and a piece of Melon Mambo scrap. And then again, you'll have another piece of paper to cut out your tags and sentiment there. I'm just going to use this one. And I said we're going to use Granny Apple Green, but it's actually Parakeet Party, so I just need to grab the right stamp pad here. Just some fun ways to use some alternate colors for your projects. So your winter doesn't always have to be red, green, and blue. You can step it up by using different colors. So let's go ahead and do our stamping first. So we're going to pull in our Memento Black. Again, you could use Stays On just fine because we're not using any blends. I just happen to have this handy, so that's what I'm using. All right, so I'm going to do 1. And what am I got the card? And because I know I'm going to need another one, I'm going to do 2 and 3. I'm just going to stamp those all right away. I need a little, well, I'll do my next lid. I was looking for the lid, sorry. That's what that was. I was searching for my lid. Okay, I'm going to pull in my little hat. And we'll pull in our Melon Mambo cardstock, and I'm going to use my Melon Mambo ink, and I'm going to stamp 1 hat there. So you can get a chunk, and it's, you'll have enough to stamp a couple hats. So, you know, and let's go ahead. I'm going to do that. So I'm stamping my hat, and then I'm going to stamp my scarf. Now, why are you asking, am I doing 2? Because I think I might put one on the inside. So 1 scarf. And I'm going to turn this way to, that way I know I can fit all the dies on my cardstock at one time. I'm going to go ahead and pull in the Parakeet Party. And I do want to make sure that I'm stamping off because sometimes Melon Mambo stays on your stamp if you don't clean it well enough. All right. So now, I just want to see if I have a piece of scrap paper here somewhere. That'll work. Oh, and I grabbed Granny Apple Green. I was like, why is that so incredibly dark? Because I grabbed the wrong stamp pad. All right. Okay. So I'm going to stamp one right here. I'll stamp another one over here. Okay. And I'll grab my hat. I'll do the same thing. I'm going to stamp one hat over here just because I want to make sure that my color is looking right. Okay. Now, on this one, we're doing a little bit more die cutting because we're going to have a couple extra pieces. So, the extra dies we're doing are these little snowflakes. We're going to be doing this tree. This is just a scrap of white that I just trimmed down. So, I'll grab a scrap of that in a minute. Just got to find a scrap. Now, I'll cut one off the other side. All right. Move all these pieces out of the way. This is what I want to die cut. And we'll bring in our die cut machine again. We'll get our things all cut out and then we'll do our embossing. So we're going to be using our what's it called? Whimsical Trees. This is in our holiday mini catalog. So we'll be using that pattern. I thought it went really well with this. Okay. All right, let's see here. Where are my dies? Off to the side. Right where I said they're going to be. So I've got my little hat, my scarf. So it's just taking me a moment to set these down because I didn't do it ahead of time. Hoping I can fit my tree in here too. If I left myself some room. Yep. Okay. Oh, and I need snowflakes. And I realized I forgot to use my embellishments on my first card. So when we get to adding an embellishment, I will show you which one we're going to use. So when you purchase a $50 order in my online store using the Christmas card host code, you will get the card kit and you will get the embellishment that we're going to be using tonight. So I'll show you what that featured one is in just a moment. I just need to get my rest of this cut out. Right, where are my pieces here? Again, if it was if it was really Monday, because in my mind it's still Sunday, I would have had all my little snowflakes already cut out for you. But since I'm a day off, it didn't happen. So sorry, you've got to watch me do my die cutting. And hopefully that die didn't just move. I have a feeling it did. It's probably a good thing I cut extra. Oh no, well, it's not too bad. Yeah, that one really did move. So I have to redo the scarf because the scarf didn't stay in place. I don't know what happened. It didn't. All right. La 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 la. It's because I'm using a crummy little cutting pad. All right. All right, come on. So this is the longest part, is really just getting your dies to be positioned. You can take some washi tape, post-it note, whatever you need to kind of hold them in place. Usually I can get it to stay in place just by holding my plates together, but we'll see. We're going live, so you know that always happens. All right. Well, these turned out a little better. All right. So I need this. So let's just get my little snowflake out of there. Oh, I forgot to zoom out, didn't I? All right, I'm just die cutting, so nothing really to watch. Let me just do with the snowflake die. There it is. I need 2 more snowflakes and then we'll be done. We'll emboss our folder there. All right, one more snowflake, yay! Now, if you're wondering what I'm doing, my snowflake got stuck in my die, so I just took my Take a Pick tool and poked it out. All right. Now, slide that there. All right, let's get the cutting plates out of the way. We'll get our embossing folder back in. We'll get our piece of basic white. Now, my card is going this direction, so when I look at my embossing folder, I need to make sure of which way I'm putting my cardstock into my folder. If I go this way, then my card will need to be this way. And it's not designed for that. It's designed to go this way. All right, so I'll run that through. Get this out of the way. The next thing I do is I'm going to pull in a piece of Designer Series paper, and I am using the Brights Designer Series paper. Now for this card, you may get green or you may get Melon Mambo. It's going to be one of the 2 colors. I'm going to try to stick with green, however you may get a different pattern. So you may get a stripe instead of the dots. It'll depend on how much supplies I have left. Because in this pack of Designer Series paper, there are 10 different colors. You get 2 of each sheet. So, well, you know what, we'll use Melon Mambo on this one. Even though this one is. No, I want to use, I really do want to use the green. I'm just going to find a piece of it. Thought I had it pulled out ahead of time and I must not have. So you've got my fun favorite bold colors, bright colors. So you got the Bermuda Bay, Coastal Cabana, Pacific Point, and Melon Mambo, Granny Apple Green. Oh, that's right. This is the wrong one. This is Parakeet Party. Why do I keep going to Granny Apple Green? Silly girl that I am. Okay. Well, that solves that worry. All right. I'm going to grab the other pack of paper here. Alright, I'm not using the Brights. I am using the In Color Designer Series paper. You do still get the same number of sheets, but you do get 4 of each sheet. So there we go. There is our Parakeet Party. We'll pull in our trimmer here. And this strip, you'll get the strip that's already cut, measures 1.5. 1.5 by 5 1/4. Okay. All right. Let me get my last. I'm going to put my little dies away here so I don't lose them. Now I did cut that fun tree out. I don't know if you saw that shape, but that was on our card. All right, let's get all our bits and pieces here. So here are our snowflakes. Got 5 snowflakes here. And we've got our tree. I've got my hat and scarf. My hat and scarf. No, that was the bad one. Okay. And we've got 2 little snowmen. So the next thing I do want to do is I want to show you the embellishment feature of this week. So when you spend over $50 in my online store, I'm going to send you this little gift. And this is our solid faceted gems. It has Balmy Blue, Night of Navy. I want to say this is Blushing Bride or Petal Pink, Melon Mambo, Pool Party, and Mossy Meadow. These colors are going to go fun, really fun with your projects. So on this one, I use the Pool Party and Melon Mambo. And on this other card, because I forgot to put them on, we're going to be using the Night of Navy. So let's go ahead and put those on right away so I don't have to worry about them being missing. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to grab the larger ones because I noticed that I have a larger space over here. So I'm going to grab a large one here. A smaller one. Now, these embellishments will not be included in the card kit, just so you know. The only way they'll be included is if you spend $50 or more in my online store. Okay. And I dropped something, but I don't know what it was that I dropped. All right. So let's go back to this card now. Let's get our snowman put together. All right, let's hope this kind of came open. I think what's happening, I don't think my tip is getting clogged. I think that the inside cap is getting clogged. Let me try this other one. Okay, that one doesn't want to work right there. All right, let me see if I have a pin so I can poke that. Let's see, I had a pin. I know I stepped on one earlier, so I should have a pin around here. Alrighty. Oh, Cooper, dude, you're right in the way. I have to see a safety pin, so let's just try that. Every crafter has a pin somewhere in their room, right? All right, let's see. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our little hat on. Oh, I need to stamp my faces and stuff first. Darn, 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 darn. Well, I can actually put my little scarf on. Because on this one, I didn't put the little... Alrighty, now let's see, I wanted to do my stamping. So let's pull this back in. Let's pull our stamp set back in. Our little tiny block. And our little faces. So you have one face going one direction, the other face going the other direction. Get on there. Swap out faces here. It's so hard to tell on my tabletop where the other face went. That's what I just stamped, right? No, I stamped that one. Oh, well, I'll have to make sure that I cover that. Now he looks like he has a unibrow or something. Alright, let's try and zoom in just a little bit. It seems so far away when I'm looking on my iPad that I don't think that you can see what I'm doing with my stamping here. So now I'm just taking the opposite color hat and putting that on. And we'll slide that up. I keep that down just a little bit. And this hat. Slide that one up. Oh, come on. I was staying to my man, not to my little snowman. All right, bringing our mango, our nose again. Now, they do have, I'm going to tell you, they do have little carrots that you could stamp. Let's see, I thought they did. Yeah, they have a little carrot. I am not that good. I don't have a lot of luck with that one. It's so small that I can't do it. So I'm not going to. I'm not going to even try. Look at that one. Put them there. And so we got 2 little guys down here. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to pull my snowflakes in. And we're going to pull our embellishments. And I'm going to grab this. Now I'm just using all the smaller dots for these. So I'm going to put my gems here right in the center of my snowflakes. And we'll do 3 of the blue and 2 of the mambo. Put this in there. All right. I'm going to slide this out of the way. I'm going to bring in our strip here, and I need my strip here. Now, I like to put this one on first because sometimes I don't cut even. So I want to make sure that I actually have that even at the top. So by not adhering this onto my card base right away, I have the chance to trim that down if I needed to. So I think it looks actually pretty good. You can choose whichever side of the paper that you want. Let's go ahead. We'll do this one. Since we did this one, we'll just whip it out. Swipe. Oh, you know, switch it out. Okay. All right. All right. So, did everyone have a good weekend while I'm doing this? Can I ask those questions? So have you seen this stamp set in the catalog? And what did you think of it when you first saw it? Was it like, I gotta have that? Or, oh, I'm not quite sure how that's all gonna work. Let me tell you, it's really adorable. There are some shaker cards that you can make. Our other one here that we're gonna do is kind of a faux shaker. It's not really a shaker, but kind of looks like it is. I will be doing another card, probably, I don't know, sometime in October. I'll do a shaker card with this stamp set. Who knows? I might do it earlier, but I'm not guaranteeing anything. All right, so now we're going to put our 2 little snowman down. Before I put that down, I do need that strip of cardstock. So I'm going to just grab cardstock here, and I'm going to just grab a piece and trim it. So that's 4 inches wide. I'm just going to trim it to 3/4 inch wide. That way I know I'll have enough room. Oh, I hope I have some more cardstock. Okay. That way I know I have room for it. So let's bring in our Melon Mambo stamp pad. And let's bring our sentiment in. So I'm going to use my longer stamp now. And we're going to be sending wishes for a cool Christmas. Now, if you were making this for a birthday, you would just swap out that sentiment set. All right, I'm going to stamp it more towards the right side. I'm leaving myself a little bit of room there. I didn't stamp that very straight. Because I'm going to make a banner end. And our paper is reversible. It's super special paper. You can flip it over and stamp if you make a mistake. Just kidding. But it is really good on both sides. It's the same finish. Some paper you find has different finish on the two different sides. This one does not. It has the same finish. All right, so I'm just going to trim. I'm going to trim a little bit down. There we go. All right, and then over here, I'm just going to make a really kind of stumpy little banner. I don't want to have large flags. Okay. All right, now, depending on how long this is going to depend on where my snowman go, because I want to put that right down here. So I'm going to first go ahead and adhere this down. I'm just using my liquid glue. All right, we'll move it up a little bit. All right. Now I'm going to have my tree off to the side, but I'm going to make it so it lines up with the top of that label. And this one I'm just going to put a couple little dots here. Probably should use my little fine tip over there, but if you just dot, you're usually okay. All right. All right. I just found that by kind of using that line gives me a good placement for that tree. All right. I'm going to put these up with glue dots. So my first one is going to overlap my tag. So I'm just going to use, I will use large glue dots this time. All right. All right. We'll just tilt her just a little bit, or him just a little bit. And we'll get our second one on here. Now this one, I don't have any ribbon on. I didn't feel I needed to have any. All right, so that one, we're just going to come down a little bit. Tilt that one just like that. Now, I'm going to take some glue. And I'm just going to put dots on my project. We'll put one on the top of this tree. So I have this tree right there, so I'm going to put the snowflake right on top of that tree. Now, my finger is sticky, so if you have sticky fingers, go ahead and grab your Take a Pick tool, and this will really kind of help you kind of get these positioned. All right. Over here. And I think we'll do, come on, this right there. And we'll put this one, oh, I didn't put any glue down. That one right here. All right. So now let's get the inside of our card done. Move some of this out of the way. Pick up some of the colors that I'm not going to be using here and get them out of my way. Let's see. That's it right over there. No, we don't need these. Okay. I want to now. Part of this is I'm going to have to bring in, I didn't cut enough white cardstock for my layers here, so I just need to cut a piece real quick. So what I have here is just my basic white. And for my first card layer, I just do it 1/4 inch smaller than my other layers. So I'm going to actually cut this at 5 1/4 on the long side here. And then I turn it and then cut it 4 inches. And I know my other card will need one too, so I'll cut it 4 inches. All right. Okay, now this little strip, save that because you can use that for a sentiment. In fact, on our next card, we're going to use this for our sentiment. You'll get a little strip in there in your kit, don't worry. All right, so now for the inside of the card, we need to do a little stamp in there too. So let's grab our stamp set back in again. And I'm going to grab the little bunny rabbit. Okay. And he stamps this direction. So what I want to do is grab, I'm trying to grab something out of there that's not even there. I'm just going to grab my memento here. And we'll just stamp a little bunny right there. And now, let's do something a little fun there. We're going to take our little holly. We've got a little piece of holly in here. Oh, actually, no, it's going to be really cute. I lied. We're going to take the carrot. Yes, I'm going to stamp that darn carrot. And I'll go ahead and use my mango marker again. Just because I thought I wouldn't need it. I'm going to take my brush end and there's something on my stamp. Okay. I'm going to put this little carrot right down in front of him. Just like that. And now I'm going to bring back in my, as soon as I put this away so I don't lose it, Parakeet Party marker. And we'll use our fine tip end. And I'm just going to draw some little lines on my carrot. There we go. So it looks like he has a little carrot. That's the inside of the card. All right, we'll put this on the inside. So here's the card we're doing. All right. So again, you can get a little bit different looks by just changing up your designer series paper. Sweet card though. Okay, let's see. So now our last card is what I call a faux shaker. So it almost looks like it has sequins in there, right? But no, it doesn't. Let me show you what it has. It has this fabulous, fabulous vellum paper. So this is in our mini catalog. This is found on page, I don't know what page. Let me tell you in just a second here. You know, and when you look at it in the catalog, you kind of just fly right by it. I know I did the first time. So it's on page 40. You don't really notice it until you're like, oh, hey, that's a really cute card. What did they use on that? And I figured out, oh, it's the vellum. So this is as much as they show you of the vellum. So it doesn't really give you a good peek at it, right? So I'm here to give you a peek at it. Because I think it's awesome. And let's see, I have it open on one end. Go ahead and open this up. Now there are 6 sheets in here. So I'll pull them all out so you can see what they all look like. Alright. So we have the one that we're using in this card. And I don't know if you can see, but it has these little like velvet dots on it. Can you see that? So that's not stamped, it's actually raised. So you can kind of see there's little bumps on it. Then we have this iridescent silver snowflake. This is the one that we created those votive wine glasses with during, was it Stampapalooza or right after Stampapalooza? Must have been my August one. This one is just, it's a flat, but it has like a silver iridescent kind of glimmer to it. This one's really cool because this one is actually that same like velvet paper on top of the vellum. So you can see that. And there's another snowflake with the silver iridescence on it. Pretty cool. And then another piece of the snowflake paper. So you get 2 snowflake papers. You get 2 polka dot ones. One of the polka dot ones is silver. One of them is white. And then you get another 2 snowflake ones. So yeah, pretty cool in there. I didn't want to use the snowflake one for my card just because I thought it was just too busy. Because I'll show you, we're going to be using the die to actually add our snowflakes. Put it this way. So in this handy dandy little die set here is this awesome background. And notice it's not really big. It's actually pretty small. So this measures, I don't even know what the measurement is. On the card I use, I have 3.5 by 5. So, and it left a nice little border. So this actually measures 3 inches by 3 inches by 4.25. So that's how big this frame is. But what we're going to do is we're going to use it on a piece of basic white cardstock that measured 3 3/4 by 5. You run it through the die cut machine and you end up with this. So this is how I ran it through, and this is how it came out. I have a strip. Remember that strip that we cut off before when we were cutting our layers? Now, my piece of vellum here also measures 3 3/4 by 5 because I am just going to simply put this right over the top, just like that. I am actually going to go ahead and cut out another piece. I did something to that right there. So let's just trim this piece down to be the right size. So again, 3 3/4 by 5 is what we need. Just went down to my other side of my trimmer just to cut that. All right. And we'll go to our die cut machine, run that through real quick. I want to be able to show you, again, a tip on running this through. So again, this is where I said if you have dull and scratched up plates, this is where it can be a challenge with having a decorative die, a very detailed die. So here are a couple of tricks for you. Number 1, don't use a real thick piece of cardstock. Number 2, put it at your cardstock and your die at an angle when you run it through. The rollers seem to pick it up better if it's not going through like a complete straight edge. If it's got a little corner to pick up first, it just seems to roll better. All right, so this one I'm centering on that card like that. Oops, I just moved it. All right, put my top layer down. I'm going to press down on it. I'm going to run it through a couple of times. So because again my plates are so used and scratched up, I want to make sure that this is cutting right. So I'm actually going to go back and forth one more time. Notice how you didn't hear that big clunk when I went through? That is because the rollers were able to pick this up better. So when you send it through this way, the rollers have a harder time like kind of grabbing that and getting it to go. All right, so this comes up pretty easy, and now this comes apart much better. Again, if your plates are newer and you have a detailed die, it comes apart just a little easier. You just got to be patient, that's all. And I've got this one that's just stuck right in there. And I don't want to tear my, okay. Come on. It's getting stuck on all the individual pieces there. All right. Just this one little piece wants to get stuck. All right. There we go. All right. This piece you can always save and use for stamping your snowman. Okay. That's much better. All right. So bringing back this in. So we have our little velvet dots. We want that face up. So I have that there. Next thing I want to do is I'm going to take, let's see, my card base, which is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. I have another piece of basic white, And this is measures 4 by 5 1/4. I actually have 2 pieces. One's for the inside. And I'm going to end up putting this right on top, just like that. But I'm going to do all my decorating first. So what I'm going to end up doing is grabbing my tree die. We're going to run this through the die cut machine using some of our shaded spruce cardstock. I don't know if that's what I said before. I think I keep calling my shaded spruce evening evergreen. It's not evening evergreen. It's shaded spruce. I don't know why I keep doing that, but I do. So shaded spruce. I'm just looking for my scrap because I didn't happen to have one out. You will get a chunk of it in your kit, so you won't have to worry about finding a scrap. Your piece probably won't be as big as that, but you'll have enough to cut 3 trees. All right, so grab back in this. I thought I had prepared myself to cut 3 trees already, and I did not. So we'll just cut them right now. And the reason I'm going back and forth is just because it's easier for me to do my die cutting on this side. That's all. I don't feel the need to have to do it multiple times. Where did that piece just go? Okay. I must have dropped it. Oh, there it is. All right, and last tree. I will be bringing back in my die cut machine again to do the die cutting of the hat and the scarves and the little bunny. But for right now, let's just get this going, then we'll do our stamping. Okay. So. Alright, so I've got our 3 little trees here. And I've got this. So what I want to do is I want to kind of layer these around. Figure out what side you want your little snowflakes to go on. I'm putting the larger cluster up here because they're going to be kind of hidden down here. So I'm going to put a tree right here. So let's slide this over. Now, it doesn't slide across that velvet paper, just so you know. And I'm going to put one a little bit lower here. And I'm really going to see, is this where I want my trees positioned before I actually adhere anything down? And here. I'm just kind of guessing. All right. So that actually looks pretty good. I'm going to slide this one down just a little bit. I know that I'm going to have my bunny rabbit right here. So I know that that's going to cover part of it. So that looks pretty good where it is. So I'll go ahead and take our little adhesive here. And actually, which is it that I want to do first? Yeah, I can do these first. Oh, got a little glue string there. Okay. Come on. I better grab a nice silicone mat because I have a feeling it's just going to all of a sudden gush out on me. That's usually what happens. All right. Come on. I'm going to have to clean. I think I'm going to have to clean these tips. Ah, there it is. There's the gusher. All right. So, because I had a gusher happen, I'm just going to take it and put it on my... There we go. I got some of that off. Now I can bring that back over here and put it right there. And hopefully that's where I wanted it. I can lay this one right on top. That one right there. And it doesn't have to be perfect, so they're kind of a more, what's the word? I don't want to say rustic. What's the word I'm looking for? Just when it's more, oh, what is that kind of thing? Country? More of a country look. It's not quite the word I was. Something like rustic, something like country. All right. All right, so that is where those are going to go. Now the next step I need to do is I need to attach my my die cut here to my vellum. So I'm going to bring back in those strips, those adhesive strips, so that I can find where I put my package of adhesive strips. Oops. That. All right, here there. All right. Okay, and you get a lot of strips in here. I think there's like 40 strips in there. Okay, so I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take my strips here, and I'm going to put them all around. Now, again, this is where if you wanted to create a shaker card, you would cut your piece of window sheet, adhere your window sheet to the back of this, and that way you could do a shaker. So I'm just going to put this, you know, I'm going to do it down the entire length here. It's just going to be easier on myself instead of having to try and scrimp and, you know, scrimp and save. I'm just going to go ahead and put it all the way down. There we go, just like that. I'm going to grab in one more strip here. And we'll just take half a strip. Part of it up here. And part of it down here. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and place this right on our vellum. Now this is the fun part. I tried to practice this piece a couple of times, but I do have to get my head over the project because I need to line this up. So you could actually cut your vellum just a hair smaller than 3 3/4 by 5, so it works a little better for you, but I just get my fat head in there. There we go. And it didn't turn out too bad. If I see that it's overlapping a little bit, I can just cut with my scissors. But the perk of this is because we're putting it on a piece of white, you're not going to notice it as much. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take this on my, where'd it go? Oh, shoot. Okay. I must have been laying on my silicone mat. We're going to take this and adhere this on. So my card layer, 4 inches by 5 1/4. Right there. All right. Then we take this one. Now when I'm doing this, I want to make sure that I'm only going along these edges here because I don't want my adhesive to show. So I'm just taking along here. I can add a little bit more where I know those snowflakes are. But I just, as long as I get those sides done, then I'll just layer that right on here. All right, now my next thing is I want to take my strip here and I want to stamp my sentiment. So let's go ahead and do that next. And I'm going to bring in Sweet Sorbet, another one of our new in colors. And I will grab the, so I'll put this back on there. And make sure I get all my dies back in place here. I just don't want to play nice today. All right. Okay. I wanted to get my stamp right here. And we're going to take our sentiment that says, thinking of you this season. So again, because it's a long skinny one, I can actually like bend my photo polymer stamp to give it a curved look. I don't want that. So I want to just kind of shake it back out and just drop it right there. I'm going to center this right. Oh, that's a mess. That's a hot mess. I'm going to center that right on my strip of paper. Okay, close this up. And then I'm going to just layer it like this. So what I'll do is I'm going to put my, I'm going to use glue dots to adhere that down. So let's go ahead and take a glue dot on each side here. And where is the other one going to be? And I'll just position this where I want it to be. I'm going to take my snips and just, should have trimmed that down before I actually adhered it to my cardstock, but all right, I'm just going to go this way. There we go. Okay. Let's get to stamping our fun little snowman, and we'll use that scrap paper that I had before. Here we go. So we'll bring in our snowman body, and we'll bring in our, oop, there's that little carrot. Told you, things like to run away. I don't even know how it got away over there. All right, here's our snowman. And that's not gonna work. I was too close to the edges there. So here's our snowman. And I want to, you know what, I'm going to stamp his face and everything else while I have it out. I don't have to worry about doing it later. And we'll go ahead and grab the closed eyes again. Just because I'm going to have him positioned that way, so I want his face going the right way. It's all about the face. Okay, and I felt a stamp just stick to my sleeve. Okay. Oh, shucks. We're going to try that again. I need to clean up. I accidentally got the unibrow again, so I wanted to make sure I cleaned that off. All right, that's much better. Okay. And then before I get up and walk away tonight, I'm going to have to count all those stamps to make sure I have them all in place, because something stuck and I don't know where it went. And I don't know which one it was. Okay. Next, we're going to go ahead and bring in our little hat. So I'm going to take my hat here. I'll stick my hat over here. Take my scarf. Okay, my scarf. I want to stamp. I'm just trying to turn my paper enough so I can fit it all on here, because I still have to stamp my little rabbit, because we're going to be die cutting him as well. There we go. Okay, I think I got all the pieces that I need. Actually, I'm going to do my one last piece of stamping before I actually do my die cutting. I'm going to grab my evening evergreen, not my evening evergreen, my shaded spruce. Jeez Louise, I don't know why I can't remember that color. Shaded spruce. And I'm going to take the inside of my card, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp a couple little trees in there, because we have this cute little tree stamp, and we have this cute little bird. So I want to see which direction my bird is going. Okay, so I'm going to stamp my trees over on this side, And then I'll go ahead and take my sweet sorbet again. And we're going to stamp our little birds. Our little bird, I should say. I'm only doing one. And sweet sorbet. I'm not going to cut them out. I'm just going to stamp. Oh, goodness. Try it again. Right, we're going to just stamp the bird right there. Okay, so now because I accidentally cut off his little beak, I'm just going to add a little beak right there with my mango. You can't really tell, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, let's get all these things die cut. And again, we'll need our, I don't need a tree. I've already done that one. So I do need the snowman body. I will need my hat and my scarf and the bunny rabbit. Now, there are some really cute little dies in here. So you can die cut on soft suede or early espresso, some arms. So instead of stamping your arms and die cutting them, you could actually just cut them out of cardstock. You wouldn't have to worry about it. So, but you can cut out its little arms too when you stamp those. Right. We'll be doing more cards, exploring this stamp set some more. Can't do it all today. All right, let's get this die cut and we can get going. Look at that, the bunny. Now, as long as you spaced out your images, you should be able to get them cut at one time. And unfortunately, I didn't space my scarf out just right, so we'll have to see how that turns out. We may just use it. All right. Okay. Oh my goodness, we're getting a little late in time here, aren't we? All right. Let's just try to crank through this really quick. We're almost done, actually. So, get that out of the way. Down here, we'll color his little nose. Just like we did all the other ones. And now, let's bring in our card. We're going to tuck him in right in back, and I'm just going to go ahead and use my liquid glue for that. I'll tuck him right here, right between the trees. I'm going to take my mini dimensionals. I'm going to put my bunny on. There. And I'll take his hat and we'll use a dimensional on that. Now, I'm just going to put that right in the middle. Then we'll take a little bit of glue on our scarf. Come on. All right. And then whatever I do with the inside of the card, I would put the inside of the card in there. I don't know what to do with it. Here we go. All right. So that is our third card. And then on the envelope, I go ahead and stamp some of the trees. So let's go ahead and grab our envelope now. So get some of this out of the way. That's my original. Grab my envelope. We'll grab our little trees. Grab our shaded spruce. I said it right this time. Shaded spruce. Okay, where'd it go? Where did shaded spruce go? All right. And I'll just stamp them in my lower corner right here, just like that. Quick and easy. I love just doing a really quick stamp on the front of my envelopes. All right. Okay, so that's our third card. So, again, if you spend $35 in my online store using the host code that I am going to post in just a few minutes, you will receive a kit with the six cards, so enough to make 2 of each design. If you spend $50, I'm going to go ahead and also include the embellishments that we used tonight. And where they went, I don't know. I'll send you new ones. I won't send you the ones I used. But I will send you some of the embellishments. And I was going to add some on this card, and I guess we won't. I think it's actually pretty good just the way it is. So, all right. So that's it for tonight's Christmas card series. Join me again October... What date did I say that was? The 19th, I believe it is, for our next one. Again, so if you spend $35 in my online store using the host code from now until October 5th, you will get the card kit. Spend $50, you get the embellishment, and you'll have that before our next, well, it'll be mailed before our next class. And our next class is, yes, October 17th. Okay. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. I will be back on Wednesday for Hump Day lunch break. And then on Thursday night, we'll have our online farmers market. So we'll see you soon. Bye.